Here with Will Peterson to preview the 2024-25 Concordia powerlifting season as we record this about a month into the fall semester. Official competitions are coming up. Just starting with some background on you, Will. You're from Nebraska. Maybe you knew something about Concordia for a while, but what was it that convinced you that this was the right place for you through the recruiting process?
So I'd known about Concordia since I was younger. What ended up happening was after my state meet my junior year, that was right after Coach Miles got hired. He reached out to me about coming here. He didn't know that I was only a junior at that time. So we stayed in contact after that. I eventually came down here for a visit summer going into my senior year, and I really liked the campus. Everything was nice. I'm a business major, and having that new business building I thought was really nice because I am here for school first, athletics second. And then we stayed in contact throughout the year. I ended up coming down here for a lift, and then I started in that fall, would have been fall of 2022. That's when I really started looking at where I was going to go. I'd received another offer from a rival school that they do have a really good powerlifting team too, but the overall school was just nowhere near as nice as here. And to be honest, the offer from here was a lot nicer too. So I ended up coming here, and everything so far has been significantly even better than I expected. I've made much more progress than I thought I was going to make in this time period. School's been great so far. It's just been really good so far.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if people get to high school and think, oh, I'm going to be a power lifter in college. How did that kind of develop, and at what point did you think that this maybe was something you could do in college?
So I'd always played basketball growing up and through junior high, but then towards around 8th grade is when I started to become a little disillusioned with it. I wasn't liking playing it as much, and I was starting to get into lifting more. So then freshman year rolls around, and I made the choice that I was going to compete in powerlifting instead of playing basketball. My offensive line coach at UTAN, where I went to high school at, he was the powerlifting coach, so he helped me go to meets. My first meet, freshman year, actually went terrible. I bombed out, missed weight, but I really liked it, and I got more and more committed to it, and I just kept making more and more progress. Eventually I got in with a crew in at Omaha Barbell, a big powerlifting gym in Omaha, and progress exceeded farther after that. I knew pretty early on that I had a chance to do really well in this sport. As a freshman, I already got second at state, and then sophomore year I won, and then as high school progressed, I won bigger and bigger competitions. Playing football was another option that I also had, but the way I looked at it, I liked powerlifting more, I was better at it, and it's a lot easier to do. It's a way smaller time commitment, so I ended up choosing to do that, and I've been really happy with that choice.
Well, what is the difference between lifting in high school and lifting in college? Is there much of a transition, or is it something that's been pretty smooth?
It's been pretty smooth for me. The first year last year was a bit tougher of a transition because the training programs that we were doing here were significantly different to what I'd always done. But I was like, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to try to make this work. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to do what he says for me, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, I can always go somewhere else. But it ended up working out really well. I made more progress in my first year here than I had in any other year in powerlifting, which for me, already of doing it for about 4 years, that's pretty uncommon for that to have happen. But now the program that we're doing is a lot more similar to what I'd done before, so that it's been really nice so far now this year.
Well, right away you get a chance to go to nationals last year, place 5th in your weight class. I don't know what expectations you had, but what was that whole experience like for you at nationals last season?
So collegiate nationals was the 3rd national meet I'd done. I'd done nationals in high school my junior and senior year, and it's put on by the same federation. So that wasn't too much of a difference for me. I knew going into it, because you can see the numbers that are posted, like who's hit what so far. I knew going into it, I had a really good chance of getting top 5. I knew there was probably no chance I was going to get top 3 though. I ended up going there. I had like a 90-pound total PR, which for those that know powerlifting, it's pretty substantial. And I got 5th place, which I was happy with. But coming off getting 2nd my junior year in high school and winning my senior year, I knew that I was going to be capable of more. And going into this year, I fully expect to win.
Well, what does it take to prepare to win? That's a lofty expectation to have going into this year.
Yeah, I'd say that the biggest thing is just training really hard and staying consistent with it. Powerlifting training, while it's not super complicated, it's not always very intense. It does get very, very repetitive. You're doing the same workouts week after week after week, and you just have to keep building off that and keep the mental focus into what the end goal is. I know that I know for sure this year, if I train as hard as I can and just keep really pushing, stay as committed to it as I have been, based on who I know is going to be there this year, I should be able to beat them, and that's the main focus right now. I know it's still 7-ish months away, but I'm really already looking forward to it.
How about from a team perspective? What's your take on just how the program has grown? A lot of progress from year 1 to last year being the 2nd year the program has competed. What's your take on just how things have progressed?
It's been great to see the overall growth of the program in terms of size. Last year we were able to fit pretty much everybody into one session. Sometimes if people had something going on, they might have to lift a little earlier in the day, but for the most part, everybody was there for the same session, whereas this year we've grown to such a size that we needed to split it into 2 sessions, which I think that shows how good of a job Coach Miles has done in recruiting and bringing more people in and getting them committed to the program. Seeing everyone continue to grow and get stronger and just stay committed to the program it's always great to see. And it's pretty apparent too, like, not to say any names, but you'll see some people that aren't following it as closely as they should be, and their progress is a lot more marginal compared to those that are.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You mentioned just when you were being recruited, like you said, the overall package of Concordia and the new building on campus, but how has kind of your experience kind of validated what you're looking for and hoping for since you've been here?
It's been great so far. I went to a small school, so I like the fact here where you can have close relationships with your professors, because most of the time you don't have more than 20-25 people in a class. So I really like that you're able to communicate with them very easily. It's also just a tighter knit community, which is what I came from in high school. Most people know each other. That of course has some problems with it, but for the most part everybody's friendly with each other. Everybody gets along for the most part. And then, like I've said, powerlifting has just been fantastic so far. Completely exceeded my expectations coming into it.
Is there anything else you would add in terms of your expectations? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit already, but you have you can't get to nationals right now. You've got some time. So in the meantime, what are you looking to accomplish building up to that? So
we have our first meet. Freshmen are competing in October, and then again in November, but upperclassmen are just competing in November at the end of that. That's at collegiate regionals. I'm hoping to PR my total. I totaled 1746 this past summer. I'm hoping to break 1800 at this meet, which would set a really, really good base to build off of. I'll have 5 months to build off that for nationals. If I do that, I should win the regional meet. But I'm treating every training session like I'm only 3 or 4 weeks out from nationals. I don't have it in my mind that it's 7 months away yet. I'm training for it like it's coming up right now. And I think that's really important that everyone does that. Having that same focus and intensity as if the meet is right around the corner, as opposed to it being essentially at the end of the school year, which is obviously a long time away yet.
All right, last thing, can I get a SCO Dogs?
SCO Dogs.